Hello, good morning. So today I'm going to talk about a new chapter, and this chapter is uh, chapter 3, okay, linear inequalities. Okay, so let me give you some examples of a linear inequality. So let me just write down one example first. Okay, so for this question, okay, over here, okay, you can see that the highest power of this inequality is 1. Can you see that? Okay, so the highest power of this inequality is actually 1. Okay, so and you have a inequality sign here, so therefore this is your linear inequality. Inequalities. Okay, so the this give you the inequalities, and this one here give you term linear. Okay, so you have you have other examples like this. Okay, so the highest power of the inequality is 1. Okay, and this is a unequal sign. Okay, next. Okay, so over here you can see the highest power is 2, right? And this is a unequal sign. Okay, so therefore not this is not a linear inequality. Okay, this is not a linear inequality because the power, the highest power of this inequality is 2. Okay, okay, this is not a linear inequality. Okay, because the highest power of this inequality is 2. Okay, this is a linear inequality because the highest power of this inequality is 1. Okay, and you have a unequal sign. Okay, so I hope with these 3 examples you can identify what is a linear inequality and what is not a linear inequality. Okay, so without further ado, let me insert a page. Okay, let's solve. Let's look at how we can solve uh, inequalities. Inequalities. Okay, so this is the question. Okay, so first thing first, please identify this is a linear inequality. I hope you can see the highest power for this inequality is 1, which is here, and then there's an unequal sign here, so this is a linear inequality. So let's go ahead and solve this. Okay, so you don't have to do anything, so write down your unequal sign here. Okay, and then 17 is over here, just copy down as well. Okay, so right here on the left hand side, so what you need to do is you can actually move your plus 5 to the other side. Okay, you can actually move your this plus 5 to the other side. Okay, so you have plus 5 here. If you move it to the other side, you get minus 5, right? Okay, so after you have moved your plus 5 to the right hand side, becomes negative 5. So what you are left with is 3x to the power 1 on the left hand side. Okay, and then you continue to solve it accordingly. So 17 minus 5 is 12, and then you can actually divide by 3 on both sides, right? You can divide by 3 on both sides, right? Just to get rid of your 3 here, right? So you can get rid of your 3 by dividing by 3 on the left, and since you have divided by 3 by divided by, I'm sorry, yep. So since you have divided by 3 on the left, so you need to divide by 3 on the right as well. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. So this is your answer for this inequality. So your answer is x is smaller than 4. Okay, so with this answer, okay, the second thing I would like to talk about is how you can represent your this x smaller than 4 on a number axis. Okay, so let me draw a number axis first. I'm sorry, it's not too straight. It's not so straight. So let me just draw a straighter one. Okay, so label your 4. Okay, in fact, you can actually label a few. Okay, you can actually label a few. Start from 0, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Right? So x is smaller than 4. Okay, so you need to use a hollow circle here. Okay, a hollow circle indicates that 4 is not included. Okay, and x is smaller than 4, so you should go to the left. The arrow should go to the left. Okay, so this is how you represent your x is smaller than 4 in this number line. Okay, so the hollow indicates that the hollow circle indicates that 4 is not included. Okay, it's not included, and to the left indicates it is smaller. Okay, so yeah, so with this simple example, we have learned how to solve a inequality. Okay, so let me just do one more example. Let me do one more example to familiarize yourself with the method to solve inequality. Okay, let me write down the question first. Okay, so over here, this inequality is slightly more complicated. Okay, and I hope you can see that the highest power of the inequality is 1. Okay, and you have a unequal sign here, but this unequal sign is smaller and equal. Okay, over here, can you see there's an equal sign here, and then this is the smaller sign. Okay, but you still do it the way we used in the previous slide. Okay, so first thing first, group. So identify similar terms. Okay, and this minus 19 is similar to plus 6. Okay, so your job is to group similar terms together. Okay? Group similar terms together. Okay, so copy the unequal sign below, and so it really depends how you want to group similar terms. Okay, I would like to group the similar terms this way. Okay, I would like to move my 7x over to, so I would like to move my 7x from the right hand side to the left hand side. So 7x from the right, I move it to the left, so it becomes negative 7x. Okay, so now I would like to move my negative 19 to the right. So negative 19, when I move to the right, it becomes plus 19. And you have a plus 6 on the right hand side. So just copy it down. And now you can solve this inequality accordingly. Okay, so bear in mind, you have your minus 5x here, and you have your 25 here. So a lot of students, they just divide by 5. divide by -5 on both sides. Okay, so for inequality, I don't encourage students to divide by negative number. Okay, I don't encourage students to divide by negative number or times negative number. Okay, so let me not divide by -5. Okay, or let me not divide by negative number. Okay, instead, what I'm going to do is I would like to switch place. Okay, I want to switch place once again. So 25, I bring it to the left, becomes -25. Okay, so please note this sign has not changed at all. And then -5x, I move it to the right, so it becomes positive 5x. Okay, so with this, I managed to to transform my inequality without changing without changing any value. Okay, so this is also one technique in math. Okay, change your inequality into another format, okay, without changing the value. Okay, so right now you can actually see that you can actually divide by 5 on the right, and since you divide by 5 on the right, and then you have to divide by 5 on the left, okay, to balance, okay, to balance the left and the right. Okay, so what do you get after this? You will get x on the right and then -5 on the left. Okay, so if you want to switch place, you want to switch the sign, by all means, but if not, it's all right. Okay, so both answers are accepted. Okay, so now what you do is you need to represent this answer on a number line. So let me do it on the right side here. So draw your number line, and then you can see over here is x bigger or equal to -5, right? So plot your -5, okay, and then this is -4, okay. In fact, you don't need to label so many numbers, okay. One is good enough, okay. One is good enough. Okay. So x is bigger or equal to -5. So there is an equal sign here, right? So -5 is included. Okay. So this is how you include the -5. Okay, it's by a solid dot. Okay, to represent -5 is included. Okay, so x is bigger and equal to -5, so you should go to the right. Okay, so this is how you represent x is bigger or equal to -5. So the solid dot here, okay, the solid dot here indicates, solid dots here indicates -5 is in. Okay, and to the right means larger than -5 in this case. Okay, so um, this is the way to solve this inequality. Okay, the important thing to note here is this. Okay, is this step. Okay, I managed to what? I managed to transform the inequality into another format without changing the value, and I have avoided um, times or divide by a negative number. Okay, so my suggestion is always to avoid times or divide by a negative number. Okay, so yeah, so hope you have understood inequality so far. Okay, and that's about it for this. Okay, let me insert one more page. Okay, I'm going to talk about what if you have two inequality and how are you going to solve this. Okay, and by the way, this is called simultaneous inequality. Okay, this is called simultaneous linear inequality. Okay, so you have two linear inequalities here, so it is called simultaneous linear inequalities. So let's look at how we can solve simultaneous linear inequalities here. So you just solve. So let's say this is your first inequality and this is your second inequality. So you solve your inequalities individually. Let me start off with my first inequality here. So what you do, okay, you can actually move your plus 3 over to the right hand side, you will get minus 3. And for this, you should get x smaller than 3. Okay, and then continue to solve for your second inequality here. Okay, what you do is move your minus 7 to the other side, so you should get plus 7. And then you should see that you will end up with 3x is smaller than 15, divided by 3 on both sides, your x smaller than 5. Okay, so you have two answers. Okay, you have x is smaller than 3 and x is smaller than 5. And your job is to represent these two answers on a number axis. Okay, so you have your 3, you have your 5. Okay. So over here, let me represent x is smaller than 3 first. By the way, 3 is not included. So I need to use a hollow small circle here. X is smaller than 3, so 3 is not included. So hollow small circle, and it should be to the left. Alright, now let me represent this x is smaller than 5. So 5 is not included, so hollow small circle once again, and x is smaller than 5, so to the left. Okay, so you can start to see, or rather let me just move this, or let me represent my this using a different color. Okay, using a different color. So hollow small circle to represent 5 is not included, and then smaller than 5, so it should be to the left. Okay, so you have two inequalities represented on this number line. Okay, now so you have to decide. Okay, you have to decide. So I hope you can see that the overlap portion for these two inequalities from here onwards. Okay, so from here onwards they start to overlap. Okay, so because of this overlap portion, so the answer is x is smaller than 3. So this is the final answer. Okay, this is the final answer. So when you have two answers, okay, what you need to do is represent these two answers on a number line. Okay, and then shade. So this is your step 1. Shade the overlap portion, and then just write down the overlap portion, which is x is smaller than 3 in this case. Okay, so this is the final answer for this question. Okay, so with this question, I have concluded this linear inequalities chapter. So I hope you enjoy my video. Thank you for watching. Bye.